I'm the founder of the Critics Club. I'm on a mission to ensure that every young person, regardless of their background, gets to experience the richness of the arts in our cultural spaces. Parents from lower socioeconomic backgrounds are significantly less likely to take their children to arts events or encourage them to participate in cultural activities. Therefore, for those young people who weren't exposed to cultural spaces as children, will grow up feeling that they don't belong there and that they aren't for them. Their parents' lack of engagement fuels their own, creating an intergenerational cycle of low interest and engagement in arts and culture. Whilst working on the front line in an academy school, I saw firsthand how students rejected the cultural spaces that surrounded them. Despite their school being walking distance from some of London's most famous cultural institutions, they told me that they were too intimidated to step foot inside, assuming that specific knowledge was required to enter and be accepted into such spaces. Yet their fear of not fitting in is hardly surprising, considering the cultural elitism and structural inequality of our cultural and creative sectors, which are overwhelmingly white and middle class. Cuts to the arts have left them undervalued and underfunded. What's more, teaching is strictly curriculum focused. Young people aren't given the space to think critically. They're not taught to express themselves authentically, nor are they allowed to formulate their own ideas and opinions. Therefore, for those young people, much like the ones I was working with, who aren't encouraged to engage nor cannot afford to engage outside of school, will continue to miss out on vital learning opportunities. So that's why I founded the Critics Club, a cultural programme empowering young people from lower socioeconomic backgrounds to engage with theatre and art. The programme is designed to boost young people's cultural capital, cultural knowledge and sense of belonging to cultural spaces, whilst developing their creativity, critical thinking and written skills. Schools pay for the programme using their pupil premium budget dedicated to raising the cultural capital of their most vulnerable students. Taking place over 8 weeks, 15 young people take part in 6 cultural trips, and within each cultural trip there are 4 key stages. So stage 1, young people experience an exciting art exhibition or play as critics. Once there, they fill in the Critics Club guide, focusing on their thoughts, feelings and reactions to both the spaces and the works that they are interacting with. The following day, the group participate in a workshop in which they discuss, debate and develop their ideas further, before each young critic writes a short review of their experiences, which is published on the Critics Club website. Hopefully you can all read an extract of some reviews that were on your chairs. So I recognise that lowering ticket costs is not enough to widen accessibility to cultural spaces. Unlike other arts programmes, the Critics Club radically shifts the power balance of who can be a critic. Participants are seen as people and not pupils. They take ownership of their voices, giving visibility to new ideas and perspectives. So far I've worked with 49 young critics across 3 schools. 4 art exhibitions and 7 plays have been reviewed, totaling over 25,000 words. Feedback has been overwhelmingly positive. 88% of participants want to engage more with theatre and art thanks to the programme, and over 85% felt empowered to express their own opinions. I've worked with young critics like Ansa, a bright and budding scientist who didn't see galleries as spaces for people like her. But yet through the programme she could reconsider exactly what art is and who it is for. To David, a disengaged and distracted Year 12 student who was retaking his English GCSE for the 3rd time. He'd never been to the theatre outside of school before, but the Critics Club allowed him to practice his writing skills, develop his self-expression and help to re-engage him with his learning. So your financial support this evening will help fund the first 3 pilot programmes taking place in the new academic year. Money raised will help fund programme costs, including purchasing tickets, travel expenses, and workshop preparation and facilitation. It is undeniable that arts engagement and cultural engagement has the power to transform both the academic, personal, and emotional life of a young person. Therefore, I strongly believe that we must do more to ensure that our cultural spaces are diverse, inclusive, and accessible. I feel strongly that the Critics Club enables widespread cultural engagement to really shake up the people and voices that have access to and are valued within our cultural spaces and communities. Thank you very much.